You're on.
Hey, how you doing, man? Welcome back to this week's video. I hope you've been enjoying all of these videos that you've been watching, and we've been getting a lot of good responses and a lot of viewership, so that's really cool. This week's video is entitled, "And the Emma E for Best Chiropractor goes to..." Yeah, now that she moved them, at any rate. You can't knock the camera. Good. So I have these glasses on because, yes, I've become very popular with these videos, but actually I had an eye exam.
Trying to be incognito.
Yeah, I had an eye exam, and so I'm still all dilated. And Dr. Diane's with me because she got her hair done yesterday, and it looks very pretty. So she wants to show what you could do if you listen to the videos. How about that? At any rate, many years ago, we had an elderly lady who presented as a patient to Paragon Chiropractic for chiropractic care. We'll call her Emma Jean. Now, Emma Jean was from the Midwest. In fact, she was from a town that was only a couple towns north of where I grew up back in Illinois. Great. And Emma Jean had spent her whole life, nearly 80 years, going to chiropractors for adjustments. Emma Jean loved chiropractic and could not imagine her life without the care she had received over those years. Sounds great. But Emma Jean was overweight, and she's kind of bent over, and she had to use a walker that had a little seat on it so that she could sit when she got tired of walking. Emma Jean wasn't really what you would call the picture of health. As a matter of fact, she was probably more a picture of unhealth. At the time of her initial visit, she brought us her most recent x-rays. And I have to tell you, they were shocking. The images looked like a spine that had been wrung in a wringer. And I don't know if you know what a wringer is, but it just takes. So it looked like the wringer had taken her by the head and the arms, turned one way, and legs and lower back, and went the other way.
There was a big twist.
Yep, and kept turning it and turning it just like a rubber band until it folded on itself. This was really, these were really bad looking films. Not the films, but the projection on the film. Now, when I saw this, I kind of had some mixed emotions. I mean, in one regard, it was amazing that she was ambulatory at all and was in good spirits and seemed to be pretty happy and glad that she was alive and moving around and stuff. And perhaps this could be attributed to the lifetime of chiropractic care. On the other hand, as I looked at these films and I looked at her, I couldn't help but wonder if perhaps more could have been done to help this lady, perhaps other therapies in addition to chiropractic care, meant to limit or perhaps even eliminate much of the degenerative changes she presented with. Maybe, who knows? You know, you never know, but it was certainly worth thinking about. You know, our first encounter with Miss Emma Jean dates back to around 1996, I think it was. So it was last century. That's weird to say, isn't it? But it was. And since that time, and from the time we graduated from chiropractic college, Dr. Diane and I, along with our whole family now, have endeavored to deliver many other types of treatments and therapies that could only be described by the chiropractic connoisseur as para-chiropractic. These would be natural therapies that are beyond the typical adjustment that help the individual and his body heal and recover the way Mother Nature intended.
Like Paragon.
Right, Paragon. At any rate, so, and this was all brought on from our encounter with Emma Jean. You just like, God, there's got to be more that could have been done, you know? So, and that was the thing. Perhaps our parachiropractic therapies might have done more to help Emma Jean age more beautifully. There's a good concept and something you want to think about, and that is aging beautifully, which I'm obviously not doing. Dr. Diane does because she still has hair and can go get it done. I don't. I could get some Grecian formula and whatever. At any rate, good. She can look pretty. I got to look old. At any rate. Addressing chronic inflammation and the prevention of the many sequelae, I love that word, that arise from being chronically inflamed, like chronic back pain and joint pain, is one of those ambitions in the realm of parachiropractic. So it's not just, it's like, okay, crunch, crunch, now wonderful things happen. But what we're trying to do is do other things that would make other things happen. So let me ask you, so what should we do? We always ask ourselves this here at the office. Simply continue to deliver adjustments and hope that they will deliver the miracle that many are looking for? Or should we hedge our bet and work to create the miracle that could prove to be the miracle of miracles with therapies beyond what is typically considered the province of chiropractic? I can tell you what I would much rather do. I wouldn't want to take it to chance. If there was a way to put a little elbow grease into a miracle, I'd put the elbow grease in and take the miracle. I know what I'm saying could be considered heresy for a chiropractor to talk this way, that there would be something maybe besides the chiropractic adjustment. And as a matter of fact, the chiropractic inquisition is standing just outside the door to drag me off to a burning stake someplace when we get done with this video. But let me ask you, right? Which would you rather we at Paragon Chiropractic, Paragon Chiropractic do? Simply adjust you and let the winds of fate take you wherever they may? Or would you prefer that we work to reduce the risks of your demise, even if this means therapies beyond the typical adjustment?
And we will never lessen what we do, because like the last patient just left who needed magnesium to help with the chiropractic care. So at any rate, I interrupted.
That's fine, but here's a rhetorical question. It says, what might Emma Jean have chosen? Would she have wanted just to keep adjusting and see what happens? Or if there were other things that could have been done, would she have preferred to have those in addition to the adjustments? And here's the problem. Most are not in a position to receive a miracle. This is the big problem. A miracle, according to the dictionary, is being a surprise and welcomed event that is inexplicable by natural or scientific law and is therefore considered to be the work of a divine agency. Even if that divine agency is yourself. That gets hairy. That's out there. I'd love to talk to you about that. You, the God. I've written many blogs about that. At any rate, it is a highly improbable and extraordinary event, development, or accomplishment that brings welcomed consequences. With that in mind, could you use a miracle? Could you use a miracle?
Sure.
How about you, Anderson, Lily? Could you use a miracle? Heck yeah. But here's the question. Would you be prepared to work for it? Yes. Sadly, most live lives of isolation and disconnection, oftentimes purposeless and meaningless. See that person across the room from you? I mean, if you're someplace where there's other people, take a look at that person. He might be the source of your miracle. In my case, it's Anderson across the way. He's going to give me $100 after we're done with this video, because his grandmom gave him a ton of dough. At any rate, or might you be the source of his? And typically, what are you, like 105 years old, Anderson? And I've been 128, and I've been the source of his miracles from the day he was born. At any rate. But you get this. So, if so, how would you know being trapped in a cubicle or an automobile staring at a screen or a cell phone, even while you're driving, and ignoring all life around you? How would you even recognize that person that might be the key to your miracle, your salvation? If one were to consider a jail cell, is his cubicle or an automobile or the family room with the TV blaring much different than a jail cell? Does one feel free in these confines? It's a good question. Believe it or not, connectivity to those things that are alive and living is one of the tenets of living an anti-inflammatory lifestyle and reducing chronic inflammation, along with unhappiness and depression. That deserves a second repeat. Believe it or not, connectivity to those things that are alive and living is one of the tenets of living an anti-inflammatory lifestyle and reducing chronic inflammation, along with unhappiness and depression. you hang around with people who are alive and living and doing stuff, you're going to get a little on you. You're going to find yourself feeling alive, feeling happy and stuff like that. Isolation and staring at a phone, sitting in a room or a little cubicle all by yourself and everything, not going to work. So, as Dr. Diane was talking about, don't worry, we will always do adjustments at Paragon Chiropractic because adjustments can always be miraculous. But don't be surprised if we talk to you about things that might be a little different from an adjustment and ask you to participate a little more in your own health and wellness. After all, it is your health and wellness, right? You want to get involved a little bit? I think Emma Jean would agree. So that's it, and I'd like to thank you for following along. We'll have another video next week. In the meantime, if you could hit the like and subscribe and make the comments. I love the comments and things along those lines. I'd love to talk to you about this kind of stuff. There's so much that chiropractic and chiropractors, and especially Paragon Chiropractic, remember, we're the cool guys, we did a whole series on that, would be able to do to help you, age beautifully, live better,
Feel
be
better.
happier, feel better. Maybe we could give you Dr. Diane's beautician's name. You could look pretty like her. I don't know. Here we go.
Thank you.
Oh. Okay.
Signing off.
Thank you much.
Peace
We'll
out.
see ya.